Now, first, it is not true that I fought so hard to be a running mate. That is not true. What is true, Mr. Chairman, is that I was fortunate to be on the short list of 6 members of my party who were being considered to be running mates for President William Ruto. In that short list, it is also true that I ended up being a runners-up. It is also true that in that process, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, who is now Deputy President of Kenya, was nominated to be a running mate, and I was the runners-up. That bit is true. With regard to the question whether I've recovered from the shock, there was no shock, because in the first instance, there was no entitlement to anything. You can only get shocked if you are entitled to something. It was a privilege even to be on that short list, and even a greater privilege to have been a runners-up. It is also true, Chairman, that I did a press conference 2 days later after that process, and I said 2 things, namely that I'll take a break from elective politics, which I did, and 2, that I will not be available for any appointive office during my break. That last bit, I have since reviewed that position after persuasion by my party. My party persuaded me, and in fact, if the honorable member cared to listen to that speech, I said, however, notwithstanding my personal decision, if my party wishes to engage me and requires me to reconsider my position, I'll be willing to listen. So that is what made me to change my mind. Otherwise, it is true what he has said, but there was no shock. And finally, Mr. Chairman, I have no problem submitting to authority. That is the easiest thing. And therefore, my friend Rigathi Gachagua, who is now the Deputy President of Kenya, is my boss. And I have no problem whatsoever working with him and under him, together with President Uhuru Kenyatta, together with President William Ruto. Uhuru Kenyatta is the former President of Kenya. I also served under him very well until he threw me out for no reason. So I'll be more than happy to serve under President William Ruto, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, all my colleagues, all arms of government, and I'll be a humble servant of Kenya, the people of Kenya, and there is no shock, there is no nothing. There is nothing to discuss.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
The next batch of 4, Owen Baya, Shurie, Naisula, and Gikaria.
The Speaker, it's possible to clarify yes, something that the Honorable Professor Kindiki Kithure had raised. Actually, the fact is that the 500,000 shillings was through a check drawn by Singoei, Murkomen, and Sigei advocates to the law firm of Kithure, Kindiki, and Associates.
And the data was Kithure Murkomen.
And the 15 million, just to clarify further, was in favor of Singoei, Murkomen, and Sigei advocates. But this company was one which was dealing with the 2 companies, with the 2 law firms. The out-of-the-box solutions is the company which was at the center of the investigations. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
I think it is.
No, sorry, Mr. Speaker. So if you
hold
just
on, Professor.
1 second, because I think if you allow me,
yes,
that clarification by the Honorable Pio and I is extremely important. I have said before this committee, Chairman, I had a relationship, a debtor-creditor relationship with the Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. He paid me using a check. Where he got the money, or who has paid him, I don't know. I have never known. I will never know. That will be what goes on record.
What is on record is that the Honorable Pio and I has recanted the 15 million payment, and he has
Without saying so.
and he has made it clear that it was a payment to a firm that has nothing to do with you. Yes. Isn't that so, Pio?
Actually, that's the position. That's the position, yes.
Let the chips rest where they fell. The next lot, Owen Bayer,
All right, thank you very much, Mr.
Shurie,
Speaker.
Naisula, and Gikaria.
Thank you very much, Mr.
One
Speaker.
question each.
Okay. My boss here has said that the former ministers have been very powerful. But I want you to choose to be a helpful minister, not really a powerful minister, and a facilitative, not a frustrative like we have had before. But within that context, please give us what is your vision for this Minister of Interior and National Administration, and what is your strategy? What do you want to achieve for the betterment of this country? On that line, Mr. Speaker, I would like to ask the nominee. The chiefs in this country have been facilitated by wazee wa vijiji and wazee wa nyumba kumi, and they have been effective because of this lot. But the previous administration refused to recognize the wazee wa vijiji and wazee wa nyumba kumi in law, and refused to remunerate them. And they live as paupers, but they're very helpful within the mainstream administration. What is your vision? Are you going to get them paid, recognized, or are you going to refuse to do so like your predecessor did? I brought a bill to Parliament to try to pay them, but your predecessor refused. Are you going to pay wazee wa vijiji? Are you going to recognize them in law so that they can continue to do the good job that they are doing? I thank you.
Shurie.
Thank you, Chair. On a nominee, there's questions which have been asked about the long and tedious procedure of vetting persons from border communities when they seek identification and travel documents. How do you plan to facilitate access by all Kenyans to these crucial documents that are a constitutional right?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We should emulate that batch. Naisula,